The square knot, also known as the reef knot, is first and foremost a binding knot. Its primary function is to secure a line around and right up against an object. In pioneering, it's used to complete certain lashings and whippings. We use a square knot when tying a Mark II square lashing. We use a square knot to finish up a Mark II or Filipino diagonal lashing. We use a square knot to complete a West Country round lashing or a West Country whipping. And we use a square knot as a final step in tying a sailmaker's whipping. When it's time to make a square knot, there's a surefire way to always tie it right. And all you have to do is use your eyes. First, here are two ways to tie it that are most often taught. Tying the two overhand knots forming a square knot is commonly approached by either passing the right end over the left and then the left end over the right, or by passing the end on one side over and under, and then again the end on the same side under and over. But time and again, scouts get confused and the outcome is frequently the less efficient granny knot. And that's why it's a practical approach to tie the square knot from a visual perspective. In this photo, you can easily see how after tying the first overhand knot, the blue part projects towards you and the red part extends away. It's like each end has its own area. Each end is in its own zone. That's where they need to stay. When you bring the ends together to form the second overhand knot, they don't enter the other zone and cross behind. They just meet in the middle. Observe again. After tying the first overhand knot, the part that's closer to you stays on its own side or zone and doesn't cross over into the area of the other side as the ends are brought together to finish the knot. It doesn't matter how the first overhand knot is tied. When bringing the ends together to form the second overhand knot, keep them in their own zones. Don't cross over into the other end's area. This way you'll always tie a square knot, and never a granny knot. Here the blue strand strays over into the other zone and eventually ends up tying the second overhand knot by erroneously crossing behind the red strand, resulting in a granny knot. The correct way is to bring the ends together without entering the other zone and crossing behind one another. Once you grasp this simple concept, using a visual approach to finishing a square knot is foolproof. One last time. First overhand knot. In this example, instead of simply meeting in the middle, the blue strand incorrectly crosses behind the red, and the result is a granny knot. Correcting this, the blue strand stays on its own side, the ends are brought together, and it's a square knot.